Hello everyone, this is StichRulez, and I wanted to talk about today's card that's going to be released very soon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It's called Destruction of the Universe. This is a card that is a non-legend trap card, and the effect is when your opponent declares an attack, pay 3,000 life points, and the effect is destroy the attacking monster. So you have to pay 3,000 life points in order to initiate this effect. This will be coming out within the next day, and from the Extreme Overload box set. And this card, the first deck theme that comes to mind that can greatly benefit from this trap card is Psychics. The fact that they can modulate their life points, increase it, decrease it, this helps a lot with being able to get to different types of cards that they need for their life points to go down to a certain degree in order to initiate destruction effects and also OTK attacks. So this card offers some great versatility, even though the 3,000 for some deck themes is quite significant. But also the fact that this card is a non-legend trap card adds a little bit more versatility, because the closest trap card that comes to mind that is a legend trap card is Widespread Ruin. And that card theoretically does the same, but that requirement requires the highest attack monster instead of any type of card. So this card can be utilized in conjunction with Widespread Ruin if you want to go about that route, which is very powerful actually. And the 3,000 life points, while it is significant in some situations, if you look at cards that are very powerful, like right now, like Galaxy and Hero Fusion cards, getting rid of the specific OTK cards that they possess is extremely powerful, because if you can remove their most powerful fusion cards, you can basically win the game right then and there. The cost for the 3,000 life points, it outweighs the benefit of destroying their highest and strongest attack monster, and it allows you to shift the momentum completely with being able to go off with your combos. I think that if a deck can benefit from the life point modulation, I think more than one copy could be utilized. But in most cases, I think that unless there's a deck theme that can significantly benefit outside of Psychics that can modulate their life points, I think that one copy is ideal, because then again, you can always utilize this card with Widespread Ruin, and there's no problem at all. And then you got basically two battle traps that can do relatively the same thing. One has a significant down life point cost, while the other doesn't. But the fact that you can run them in conjunction, providing there is no limitation to this card when this card gets released in Extreme Overload very soon, I think this card can offer a lot more resilience to a lot of decks, and opponents will have to think about this card when they're competing with other players at the highest tier level. It's a very interesting card. Again, it allows deck themes to benefit greatly when they're considering the board state of when they're going against another player. And the fact that the 3,000 life points can be a bit of a liability. You don't necessarily, if your life points are lower than 3,000, obviously you can't activate it. So it's not a big deal, but it can come into certain nuances during the match that allows that you'll not have to activate this and wait maybe another turn to utilize this at the best time. I think this type of card rewards players for understanding the decks that the opponent is playing. So when to hit key cards when are the best ways to hit them. On top of that, if you can't use this card, spellcasters, for instance, have the skill that allows them to send a card from the field or from their hand to the graveyard. So if it is a dead card, you can still remove it if you're utilizing, for instance, a skill that allows you to remove any card from the field or the grave or from the hand. So yes, it could be a dead card, but the worst case scenario is you just send it off as a cost, so you can go off with utilizing your skill further. For instance, spellcasters. So I think that cards like deck themes like spellcasters, psychics, and Light Galaxy can utilize this card. And I think that in most cases, this card will be utilized at one copy. I think 2 to 3 copies is kind of excessive again, because the 3,000 life points, you're not going to be realistically able to activate more than one, unless you're designing your deck where it's gaining life points continuously. You can, like, where spell cards that can continuously increase your life points, or you're utilizing Shiny Shady multiple times to bring your life points up with the 1,500 benefit that card can benefit from when utilized correctly. But realistically, we have to think about this from, those are very situational types of game states. We have to think more from a consistent point of view of how often realistically we're going to utilize Destruction of the Universe in an actual match. Because again, you can get hit with your opponent with your life points from your opponent, from their monsters, and if you're opening this card, it can be more than likely a dead card, and you don't want to open up, if you're utilizing more than one copy, you don't want to open up multiple cards in your hand with those same cards, because they're all dead cards at the end of the day. So I think when we're thinking about that on a more of a consistent point of view during the match, we have to think about how often we're going to utilize this. And I think that if a deck theme cannot modulate their life points consistently with the benefits of their monster cards or their skill, I think that one copy will be ideal at best. Now, Psychics, that's a whole different story, because they can get their life points to some crazy levels. But decks that can't really do that on a consistent basis, like Psychics, one copy is going to be utilized at the most. I just can't see it unless there's some spell card or other type of monster effect outside that can benefit deck themes, that can really increase your life points, and then be able to utilize this card. I just don't see how any other deck theme that focuses on life point modulation can utilize more than one copy realistically on a consistent basis. So we have to keep in mind with this, especially when we're deck building and we're customizing our decks to being the most optimal deck against the current meta. And I think that when you're thinking about how to craft your deck with the strategy and with your strategy and how you're utilizing it the best way possible, one copy more than likely is going to be ideal, and then you can benefit greatly from that. So, because again, at worst, it's a dead card. At best, you can utilize it, and then you don't have to worry about drawing multiple copies of it, because you only have one copy in your deck. It's a very strong card, and it's a little bit trickled down version of Widespread Ruin, but still very, very powerful. And the fact that it's non-legend, you can integrate it with multiple other trap cards. So if you're utilizing heavy trap back row, you can greatly benefit from this card. So there's a lot of versatility with this card, and I think that in most cases, one copy will be ideal for a deck theme. So, like I said, when this box set opens up very soon, consider utilizing this card and deck testing it. And I hope the explanations I gave you gives you a little bit more insight to the nuances of game states with utilizing this card, and giving you a bit more detail to help you with your deck building. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck with the rest of your day. Best wishes. Bye-bye.